So good evening, everyone. So today I want to tell you this story. It's the legend of the ghost riders in the sky. Now this story happened in Crosby County, Texas, also known as Stampede Mesa. So the story begins, these cowboy herders were herding their cattle, and this particular time when they were herding them towards water, where they would go hundreds of times, they ran into where somebody had created a homestead. So somebody set up their house there and their long fence and everything. So they weren't going to be able to go through that path like they always did. And the leader from the cowboy herders, he was pretty upset because he thought it's going to take us hours to go around. And he was already frustrated. They had been going hours in the hot sun. So instead of going around, he decided, he just got upset. He got mad and he herded the cattle right through that property, right through that house with no regard to the family that was living there, the people that were living there. So all the cattle went running through that property, and all the cattle herders with cowboys went running through the property too. No regard for life. And the people that were in there died. Once the herd was running and once the cowboys were running with their horses, they couldn't stop. And they kept running in all these different directions. And what ended up happening was that the herd, they ran right off the cliff. And the horses that were following, no way to stop. So the cowboys on their horses all went flying off the cliff. And that's where the legend starts of ghost riders in the sky, because they went right off into the sky. And the next morning, there were hundreds of cattle, all the cowboys, their horses and everything. So what was odd was that the next season, all new cattle, everything had been cleared off, and there were new cow herders and new cattle, and they had perched near the area where the mesa was. And for no reason, it was a clear, sunny day, everything was beautiful. The cattle stampeded and they went into a frenzy, and the cattle herders were trying to stop them, but they all ran off of the cliff. Now, for many seasons, many riders tried to take that shortcut and tried to take their cattle through there, but every time they ended up stampeding for no reason and would fly off the cliff. Some people have said that when they're out there, they can hear screams or they can hear cattle, but there's nobody there. Maybe this is what spooks the horses or the riders, is they hear the ghostly screams or the ghostly stampede. Now, the legend of the ghost riders is such a popular story, or such a popular legend, that it inspired a songwriter named Stan Jones to write a song about it in 1948. The song was later redone and made popular. Again, it's one of the most popular songs in Western history. It was redone and resung by Johnny Cash, and there was even a duet with Willie Nelson. I happen to love that song a lot. It kind of gives me goosebumps. So I encourage you to go take a listen to it. The moral of the story is just for living cowboys to change their ways if they have any wicked ways, or you could end up as one of the riders in the sky herding the devil's cattle. So remember, be careful. If you want to stay safe, you best get superstitious. Peace.